King Solomon, the son of King David and Bathsheba, is a legendary figure known for his unparalleled wisdom, immense wealth, and spiritual pursuits. Revered in religious texts like the Bible and the Quran, Solomon's life and reign are often cited as embodying the ideals of divinely inspired wisdom and prosperity. His story serves as the foundation for exploring themes such as leadership, morality, and the interplay between spiritual and earthly endeavors. The significance of King Solomon in the context of wisdom, wealth, and the quest for the divine cannot be overstated. As a ruler who asked God for wisdom above all else, Solomon became emblematic of judicious leadership. His decision-making prowess, exemplified in the famous tale of the two women claiming motherhood of a child, highlights the timeless value of discernment and fairness in governance. Furthermore, Solomon's era is depicted as a period of unmatched affluence for the kingdom of Israel, establishing him as a symbol of success and divine favor. Real-world applications of Solomon's legacy are found in various domains. For instance, the concept of Solomonic wisdom permeates legal and educational systems, which emphasize critical thinking and ethical judgment. Another example is in leadership studies, where Solomon's ability to balance material wealth with spiritual integrity offers lessons on integrating moral values with practical governance. Support for Solomon's wisdom comes from theological scholars and historical texts that portray his reign as a golden age of Israelite culture. These narratives stress the importance of wisdom in achieving not just personal success, but also societal harmony and prosperity. Nonetheless, Solomon's story is not without its challenges and controversies. Critics point to his eventual moral failings, such as idolatry influenced by his many foreign wives, as evidence of the pitfalls of excessive wealth and power. This introduces the alternative viewpoint that wisdom alone does not guarantee righteousness or divine favor without ethical and spiritual vigilance. Solomon's breadth of influence extends to other aspects of the main topic. His wealth and political alliances expanded Israel's reach, laying the groundwork for its historical legacy. Simultaneously, his spiritual quest, exemplified by the construction of the First Temple, underscores the enduring quest for the divine as both a personal and communal pursuit. Ultimately, King Solomon's life encapsulates the complexities of wisdom, wealth, and spirituality, leaving a profound impact on cultural and religious thought for generations. The pinnacle of wisdom, Solomon's Judgments, refers to the renowned biblical accounts of King Solomon's unparalleled wisdom, particularly evident in his judicial decisions. As the king of Israel, Solomon was famed for his sagacity, which was both a divine gift and a crucial component of his rule. His judgments were not merely about resolving disputes, but epitomized the application of profound wisdom in governance and justice. A key significance of Solomon's judgments lies in their symbolic representation of his legendary wisdom, a cornerstone of his legacy. His ability to discern truth and administer fair justice was vital in maintaining order and ensuring prosperity in his kingdom. Solomon's judgments illustrate a broader theme of divine endowed wisdom coupled with human leadership, highlighting the potential for justice to reflect moral and ethical tenets beyond mere legalism. One of the most famous examples is the judgment involving two women who claimed to be the mother of the same child. Solomon's proposal to divide the living child in two revealed the true mother, whose compassion and willingness to sacrifice her claim exposed the truth. This story underscores the depth of Solomon's wisdom, demonstrating how he used insight and psychological acumen to uncover honesty and integrity. Another example is found in the broader narrative of Solomon's rule, where his wise governance extended prosperity and peace throughout Israel. His judgments served as a benchmark for decision-making grounded in justice and morality, influencing the cultural and ethical frameworks of his time and beyond. Opinions about Solomon's wisdom and judgments traditionally uphold them as exemplars of judicial and ethical conduct. However, some critiques suggest that while his judgments were wise, they reflect an idealized portrayal, potentially veiling the challenges of his reign, such as political and social complexities. Challenges to the narrative of Solomon's wisdom include the difficulty in separating historical fact from biblical allegory. Moreover, contemporary perspectives may question the applicability of such ancient wisdom to modern judicial systems that operate under different ethical and societal norms. These judgments are intrinsically linked to Solomon's wealth and quest for the divine. His wisdom was perceived as a divine gift, enhancing his ability to procure wealth and achieve spiritual insight. Together, these elements contribute to the multifaceted image of Solomon as a ruler whose pursuit of wisdom, wealth, and divinity defined his legacy. This intersection of justice and divinity underscores the holistic approach to governance that characterized Solomon's reign, highlighting the enduring relevance of his judgments in discussions of leadership, ethics, and spirituality. King Solomon's unmatched wealth represents one of the most fascinating aspects of his reign. The biblical narrative and historical texts describe him as one of the wealthiest monarchs to have ever lived, with a kingdom that thrived in prosperity and grandeur. His wealth was not just a matter of personal fortune, but a reflection of the flourishing economic state of Israel under his rule. Trade routes throughout the Middle East, Africa, and beyond converged in Solomon's domain, leading to an influx of gold, silver, precious stones, and exotic goods. Solomon's wealth is significant because it enabled him to fund monumental building projects, such as the First Temple in Jerusalem, which became central to Jewish worship and symbolized a divine partnership between Solomon and God. One compelling example of Solomon's prosperity is the reported annual tribute of 666 talents of gold, which he received from allies and vassals, illustrating both his financial acumen and the geopolitical influence of his kingdom. Another example is his trade expeditions with the legendary Queen of Sheba, which not only expanded his wealth but also his diplomatic reach and cultural exchanges, indicating the ramifications of wealth in fostering international relations. Supporters of Solomon's prosperous kingdom often highlight how his wealth and wise governance facilitated a period of peace and cultural development that allowed his subjects to benefit from artistic and intellectual advancements. His wealth is seen as a testament to his divine favor and wisdom, which transcended mere material gain to influence his lasting legacy. However, Solomon's wealth is not without its controversies. Critics often point to the heavy taxation and forced labor necessary to sustain such opulence, which eventually sowed seeds of discontent amongst his people and contributed to the kingdom's division after his death. There are also debates regarding the historical accuracy of his wealth, with some scholars arguing that biblical accounts are exaggerated to emphasize moral or theological points. Solomon's wealth directly influences other aspects of the main topic, such as his wisdom and spiritual aspirations. His financial resources enabled him to pursue his quest for the divine, manifesting in his construction of the temple, a cornerstone of his spiritual legacy. Furthermore, the dichotomy of his wealth and eventual spiritual shortcomings offers a profound narrative on the complex interplay between material success and spiritual fulfillment, reminding us of the enduring lessons Solomon's story presents. King Solomon, renowned for his wisdom and wealth, took on the ambitious task of building the First Temple in Jerusalem, a monumental endeavor that holds deep religious and historical significance. This temple, often referred to as Solomon's Temple, served as the central place of worship for the Israelites and housed the Ark of the Covenant. The concept of Solomon as the architect of the divine underscores his role in creating a physical space designed to facilitate a connection between God and his people. This act embodies Solomon's quest for the divine, illustrating his dedication to establishing a lasting legacy that intertwines spiritual devotion with architectural grandeur. Solomon's temple was significant as it provided a unified place of worship, bolstering religious practices and solidifying Jerusalem's status as a spiritual capital. By investing his wealth and wisdom into its construction, Solomon not only showcased his commitment to the divine, but also to the socio-political stability of his kingdom. This temple became a symbol of God's presence and favor, strengthening the people's cultural and religious identity. Historically, Solomon's temple has inspired numerous architectural and religious endeavors. For instance, Christian cathedrals and Islamic mosques have drawn inspiration from its design and purpose, aiming to create sacred spaces that foster a sense of divinity. Additionally, the temple's archetype influenced the Masonic tradition, where Solomon is revered as an exemplary figure of wisdom and craftsmanship. Opinions about Solomon's accomplishments in constructing the temple vary. Supporters view it as a marvel of ancient engineering and a testament to his devotion and leadership. They believe the temple embodied the unification of spiritual and temporal authority, reinforcing the importance of sacred spaces. Conversely, some scholars debate the historical and archaeological accuracy of the biblical accounts of the temple's construction, while others criticize the prioritization of monumental architecture over addressing social inequalities within Solomon's reign. The construction of the temple intertwines with other aspects of Solomon's story. It exemplifies his wisdom through the strategic allocation of resources and labor, showcases his wealth by utilizing high-quality materials, and reflects his quest for divine favor. However, it also highlights the potential pitfalls of power, such as the pressure to maintain peace with neighboring regions and the risk of hubris or idolatry. Thus, Solomon's role as an architect extends beyond physical structures, influencing religious practices and cultural legacies, and further enveloping his multifaceted identity as a ruler guided by wisdom, wealth, and a profound quest for the divine.